This is truly my good friend, y'all. We're not sorry about it. We're glad about it.
That's right.
And hopefully we're helping someone.
I just woke up, say they feeling low. I can use some courage for the soul.
And there's no one that could be just as great to hear today as your BFF.
Yes. Hey,
yes. My mother-in-law, Mama
BFF.
Vickie, and you know, you guys share a lot in common.
Yes, we do.
You know, and unfortunately,
yes,
you share this in common
yes,
as
yes.
well.
Oh, God.
But fortunate as enough to help one another through the times that you guys have been through so many things. So.
Yes.
Over the years, and
wow, it's good to sit up here and be able to smile at each other about it too.
Yes. Could you share?
Because it could be a lot different.
Yeah. Could you share your story too?
Well, my story is actually, everybody already know who I am because we've been introduced, and my story is not exactly the same as hers, but it is the same as hers because I've lost not just one child, but I've lost two children, and I've lost two, but not lost them. As she, as my friend Sherry here would say, piggybacking off a lot of stuff she has already. I'm probably piggybacking off a lot of things she already mentioned. But I was a mother of three children. I have Aaron Henderson Senior, who's the oldest.
Which happens to be my husband.
Oh, Lord.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, yes, please. Forgive me for mentioning him. That's messing up my time. But anyway, Aaron is my oldest. Then there was Anthony, right here. Anthony Williams Jr. And I don't have a picture of the youngest, who's Ivan Avaris Williams. And when you lose a child is one thing, but to lose two, you sometimes don't know how you're going to deal with things. And with my friend Sherry being here, I remember, I don't think we were we weren't in really a close relationship during the time my first son passed away, which was the youngest. But when my second son passed away, she was here for me. And I remember her telling me, she would always say, I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you do it. And I would look at her and tell her, I don't either. And just what she said, but God. And the thing that I would like to say is that without God, you really can't do anything.
Yeah,
absolutely. Anything that really makes sense. Let me say it like that. But with God, you can do all things.
Yes.
And God, is really the one who has gotten me through.
Yeah.
Because of my relationship with Him. It's the Lord that keeps us and is able to give us that smile back.
Yes.
Because He really is the only someone when you're in situations like this that you can truly communicate with. Absolutely. That who truly understands you. And I don't mean to be, I can't help but put the focus on Him because, I know that's been my help. God has truly been my help.
Yeah.
And the youngest son was like 4 years old when he passed, Ivan was. And she mentioned a question that she asked God about her son, CJ. Is he okay? And that's kind of ironic how she brought that up because with my first son, I didn't even question it. Simply because of his age.
Wow.
And I've had this thing in my mind, even though I wasn't in the relationship I should have been with God at that time. I had in my mind, because of growing up and, the different things that you've heard about Christ or heard about the Word, or sometimes they were like myths or just sayings that we were told after you reach a certain age, if you passed away, you could go to hell if you was like 12 years old and up, because that was considered the age to know right from wrong. But when you know right from wrong, you know right from wrong. It doesn't matter what age you are. But he was 4 years old when he did pass away. And I didn't question if he was okay because of his age, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I figure, God wouldn't punish a 4-year-old and put him in hell like that. But He did assure me that he was 4 years old. I knew he was okay. I knew he was with the Lord. I didn't have a shadow of a doubt. But my second son, I asked that very same question. Is he okay? Wow. And the hurt and pain that a mother does go through, at losing a child, It is. It's devastating. And you have different ways that you can lose a child. Like with hers, Sheri said, CJ had a massive heart attack. Well, with my youngest, he drowned. Just playing, him and his brothers, out playing, and found, a little ditch, and it was full of water. The oldest one was big enough to get in and out. So the other two, quite naturally, was going to try to do what their oldest brother did.
Yes, of course.
And so, them being too small, the youngest one, drowned. The second one almost, the second son, who's also passed away now, he almost drowned. But he made it through. And then he succumbed to gun violence. That was his way of leaving here. And I just wanted to give some encouragement to mothers that, for some reason, they have lost their children to gun violence, because that's really is one of the ways that most of our kids leave us. And that's really one of the ways where a lot of parents are burying their children. Today is due to gun violence.
Yes.
And when my son was killed for gun violence, it was simply because he had gotten into a simple fist fight, with one of either his homies or someone he knew. And I was told he won the fight, and so then the guy come back looking for him with a gun, because he was embarrassed. For one, I can already see what was the scenario probably that was playing off in the young man's head that did kill my son. He was embarrassed. His pride was, you know what I'm saying, his pride was just tore down to the ground, and he had something to prove, okay? So he went seeking my son, and he found him, and he killed him. He shot him. I don't know if he meant to kill him, because anytime you shoot somebody, you're not just shooting to play. You're shooting to kill. But my thing for parents that have lost children to gun violence, I ask that they would, if they can find within themselves to be able, without a question of the doubt, and it's hard. I'm gonna tell you now, it's gonna be hard, and it is hard, but to forgive that person as quickly as possible, because that will release your freedom into being able to deal, a little bit better with your grief and your healing process. And I thank God that I was able to do that. And I thank God that I know him enough to know that that's what we have to do. If he forgave us, who are we not to forgive others? And that's a hard thing to do. I just have to say that.
Yes.
But with God, all things are possible, and you can do that. You understand me? It can be done. And that's what I did. And that process kind of helped me a lot getting through, the death of my second child. And I asked the question, like you, Lord, that was one of the main things I worried about when my second son passed. Lord, is he okay? Is he okay?
Yes.
And there was a time I was listening to music, and God has a way of just letting you know things. That's why I love him today. I was listening to some music, and there was a particular song that came up by commission. I'd never forget it. And it was called Running Back to You. And if anybody know that song or know commission, as that song was playing, it was like immediately the Lord began speaking to me and letting me know that that's what happened when my son left here, because I wasn't around him. He was in a whole different state, and that's a hard thing too. Not being able to be there, or to try to see about your child, know, or like Sheri was saying, you want to make sure your child is okay, and that's a hard thing, to not be able to be there. But God, He will see you through, and you should trust in the Lord with all your heart. Even if you feel like you don't trust him, try to find a place to trust him. Begin today to trust him. Begin today to just turn things over to him, because he is the only one that can truly help us through any and every situation. Absolutely. And I've come to find out for me, some of my healing process, and as I was grieving and still do grieve, because this is a never-ending thing. Absolutely. A lot of times people, like you mentioned, how are you doing? Well, how you think I'm doing? You know, this is the second child I've lost. Now, do you really think I'm doing okay? But yes, I'm doing, I wasn't, but I was. Yes. Thanks be to God that I know him. Yeah. But, you know, you don't want to be fake. You don't want to be superficial or anything like that with people. You want to be, you just want to be real. And sometimes it helps us that have lost our children or lost people to just come out and let people know. Yes. That's a way of helping them to understand too, you know, because they don't know, and you don't want them to have to go through what we've gone through to understand it. Because I'm going to tell y'all something. I'm about to cry now because when her son passed away, it hurt me to my heart. Because I had to watch her deal with what she always asked me, how do you deal with it? You know, that was so hurtful for me that she had to go through that. You know? And this is truly my good friend, y'all. We're not sorry about it. We're glad about it.
That's right.
And hopefully we're helping someone. But that just did something to me because she's my friend. And I'm like, oh my God. I said, Lord, now she got to know how I felt. Didn't I tell her? You know, didn't I share with her good enough? Why? You know, and I'm asking him, why does she have, you know? But God. But God. You know, and you talking about God gives the hardest battles to the strongest soldier. Well, my goodness, I got some fighting to do. You hear me? We have some fighting to do up in here for Jesus. That's all I'm going to say. Fighting to do as to try to help someone else get through. And fighting to do because, you know, it's not the end of your life when you lose a child, but, you know, you learn how to live. Yeah. Exactly. And something else I'd like to say, too, to all of those that have lost children or people that have catered to people that have lost children. And I don't mean this in a bad way, but you know, mothers aren't the only ones that lose their children when a child dies. You know, they did have fathers. That's true. And you know, they need some attention too. You know, because we tend to get a lot of attention.
Or it could be even the siblings
or
as well.
Even, the siblings, or even just in general. And the children. The children. But I say, you know, everybody that's attached. Because I did send her a little snippet of what, you know, I was going to talk about. And I said I wanted to, you know, maybe me talking can help my family learn how to heal through some of the pain that they've gone through, you know, with losing, because I lost a sibling at a young age too. So you know, this is just like it's going full circle, and it's just something you don't want to deal with. And so I found out how my mom felt. You know what I mean? But I hate the fact that sometimes different generations do things so differently, and we stick to certain things that are generational and stuff. And some of us, we're going to have to learn how to break that generational stuff. Because our parents didn't really share a lot with their children. Absolutely. And it probably would have helped if my mama could have spoke out or would have spoken out more about, you know, our brother and stuff. And sometimes there's a time to be private and there's a time not to be private. Because, you know, now as I think about, my mother had gone through the same thing, you know, I wish she would have talked about it, but maybe that was her way of dealing with it. But how did she deal with that? Who did she talk to other than my father? Or, you know, did she have any friends that she could have, you know, I don't know what her outlet was. I know it was God, though. I know, because that's a way that if he don't get your attention, I guarantee you that's a way he will. And you don't want that. Trust me. You do not want that. So, but another thing I've also found out in my healing process is that I have thought about other mothers. I always think about other women or people that have lost children. And I used to think when I would be by myself and dealing or start crying about my son or sons, because there's times, you know, it happens, hits me so hard with both of them. There's times I would think about to myself, well, there's a mother that only had one child. Now she doesn't have any.
Yes,
and
that's
I'm
a good way to think about that.
You know, I still have a child, and not only do I just still have that one son, heck, he blessed me with a heap of children.
Oh, you know
heap of grandchildren. And I didn't mean to go there like that, but yes, he has blessed me with a heap of kids. Shoot, now I have kids twice over. So, God in that way has given me double for my trouble.
Definitely.
Okay, come on through, Joe. Come on through, Joe.
Yes, he did. Double for my trouble. But again, I would think about other mothers that, like I said, only had the one child.
Yeah.
And, now she doesn't have any. That in itself continues to let me be grateful. It continues to let me know I'm blessed, even though the Lord allowed my children to go back to be with Him. Because He only lends us to each other for a certain amount of time. Anyway, and we have to try to learn how to make the best of it, and try not to be so bitter about things. And you know what I'm saying? If we learn how to start being a little bit more grateful about some things, and we'll be able to deal with some things better.
We overcome by the blood of the Lamb and the word of our testimony.
And if you guys don't mind, I do have a picture here.
Actually, I want you both to share your pictures of your.
I do have a picture.
We needed we needed Mama Sheri to have a big picture herself
and I have
too.
one. I do have one. I didn't have it today.
And this is actually a picture of my children. Yes, you do. That's CJ.
All right, well, that ends the segment of our session with Mama Sheri Gary and Mama Vickie, and I just have to give them props, as mamas to me. So I do appreciate you guys, and thank you for coming and sharing your stories with everyone. I know
Thank you for inviting us.
Yes, thank you.
I know without a doubt in my heart, anything that is going to help so many people. So please share this with as many people as you can, and don't forget about her ministry too.
Yes, that's awesome.
Tell them about your ministry one more time, where they can reach you and contact you at. And
M.O.M.S ministry, which is Mothers Overcoming Misery Spiritually. You can contact me via Facebook, or you can even call me 419-233-6611. Thank you.
Thank you. Everybody, join us again for encouragement for the soul. All right, till next time.